Let the show begin. The Uppsala Circus in St. Petersburg gives kids who live on the streets the chance to perform to a crowd. Julia Titova runs a charity shop which is raising money for the project. She's hoping to sell suitcases there, which are being decorated by local artists, many working for free.
When the artists have finished painting them, these suitcases will be works of art, one of a kind. In Europe, they do things like this. So we're taking these used suitcases and turning them into works of art we can sell in our charity shop. We'll donate the profits to the Uppsala Circus.
Each suitcase will get a price tag of 120 euros. Julia is hoping they'll be a hit with customers. Julia has a degree in social management. 2 years ago, she did volunteer work for the circus. That's where she met Larisa Afanasieva.
Julia is full of energy and dreams. I remember how enthusiastic she was when she came back from her holiday in London. She loved the charity shops there and wanted to open one here in Russia.
Next morning, the suitcases arrive in Julia's charity shop. Spasibo is the first one of its kind in Russia. The shop is just 50 square meters big. It sells second-hand clothing and used household goods. All the profits are donated to worthy causes. But getting the shop off the ground here in Russia wasn't easy. Even though it's a charitable organization, Julia still has to pay taxes on the proceeds.
In Russia, there's little public support for charitable work. Starting a new project isn't easy. People are very suspicious at first, after all the cheating they've witnessed. Winning people over and getting them to join in is hard work.
Over 60% of Russians say they don't trust charitable organizations. In the 1990s, Russia had a problem with fake charitable organizations that stole the money they raised. Julia Titova and her co-workers are trying to undo this negative image. They make sure their customers know that all the money that's raised goes to help the needy. Julia earns a living as a freelance photographer. To launch her shop, she even gave up her dream of moving to Western Europe.
I'd applied to university in France, and I'd hoped that someone else would take over my work here. But the university took ages to respond, so I took that as a sign that I shouldn't leave. I have a responsibility here.
There are more than 30,000 homeless in St. Petersburg. Many of them come to Nochlezhka, Russian for night shelter. In the winter, 100 people a day come here for help. They come for shelter and to get warmer clothes.
Every month, our shop gets several tons of used clothing as donations. We sort the clothing and bring it here. Otherwise, it would be thrown away.
As a student, Julia did volunteer work at the homeless shelter. Much of the money needed to run the charity comes from abroad. The Russian government contributes only 5% of its budget.
You could say that Russians care less about the homeless in our country than people who live in Germany, France, or other European states do.
But Julia's idea has already caught on in other cities in Russia. Her own shop donated 6,500 euros to charitable causes in its first year.